Welcome to Story Ideas on the Fly, where we take a random story idea out of a hat and develop it into a full story.
Okay, I thought someone was joking the other day when they said they were going to put this in the hat.
Cookie gun?
Cookie gun.
I like it.
Cookie gun, yeah.
Okay, I've got this, guys. The cookies, they're monster cookies. This is a monster slayer who, instead of slaying monsters by shooting them with, killing gun or something like that.
Shotgun.
Yeah, instead of shooting monsters and trying to kill them, he shoots food at them to calm them down.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, gosh. Okay, you got me going here. What if the cookies, though, this could be someone who is a potions master?
Could
And
be.
so he is using, these monsters in this land, he's using these to actually, his cookies have different effect. Just like you might use
different kinds of
sleeping
cookies.
gas.
The question you
he
have
would
about that
one
though
makes
is he
animals go to
making these
sleep.
cookies using pieces of monsters? So he's like feeding them these cookies in order to make it so that they don't fight back as he kills them, or is he using these in order to do more something like just make it so they're no longer wanting to kill people?
Well,
I
it
think-
depends. Or you could use it so he's the villain and he's making it to kind of control them so he can use them. I mean, there's lots of ways to go with
No,
it.
I like the idea of instead of that, go with a kind of you have a surge, like a classic alien invasion type thing, where there's some creature that is going throughout killing a lot of people, and people are fighting back against it.
Mhm.
Or basically, one day
Tyranids.
things arrived and they were scary. We shot at them, they shot back, and firefights have been going on since then, and a lot of people have died. But this one guy who's a pacifist decides, I want to at one point discover that these things, even though we're currently at war with them, aren't naturally as hyper aggressive as people think, and
They're not
discovers
inherently
that they
evil.
can be
They're
pacified,
neutral hungry.
neutral hungry
Yes.
type thing.
Okay.
Or maybe just neutral, but like scary and like really humans have needed. But then he discovers that they like cookies. So he goes in and tries to save as many lives as he can
Through the
without
power of
killing
cookies.
anyone by pacifying them with cookies.
Okay, now this could be an interesting
So
thing.
it's basically Tyranids are invading. We're gonna stop them with cookies.
If we want to make this though,
Vanilla.
because right now this is kind of a very farcical story. If we want to turn it so it's got a little more depth into it, you make your hero who comes up with this idea of I'm going to make the cookies.
Mhm.
I'm going to make the cookies, and he's a bit of an alchemist or a scientist, or depending on whether you're doing this as
Yeah.
fantasy or sci-fi or what. But he gets this. Well, then you're going to get, and whether these are
You have
monsters
guns,
or an
so-
alien race depends on whether. Yeah, if you
Mhm.
want to do it alien.
Guns, so not fantasy.
If you want to do alien, they're an alien race. Then.
Mhm.
Okay, so they're
So they're
alien.
urban fantasy
They're
or
Okay, so
alien
we're
sci-fi.
race.
basically are dealing with Tyranids.
Yes, and so they're coming in. Yeah, urban fantasy. I don't care,
Mhm.
but you've got this guy who is going. Seeing what's going on. So the monsters are your initial
Mhm.
villain. But since they're neutral hungry, they're not inherently evil. The big bad, the BBG, is going to be your guy that comes in and says, I can exploit this. I can analyze these cookies that this guy's using and seeing what
And
it
mix
is.
drugs in with them.
And I can mix things. I can
Well, I
mix
don't
in
know. It's
stuff.
the cookies that he's focused on so much as the creatures themselves. Wouldn't your villain be?
Yeah, your
looking for the
villain would be
creatures
more
and
looking
saying,
at the
let's try
creatures.
to
Yes.
get them.
But if he's going, if I can use this idea of
Mhm.
these cookies, and I assume that
Well, I
it's
assume the villain's been around longer than the hero.
Yeah, probably.
So I don't think he initially
No, I don't-
his
and I don't
plan
think
is
it's
going to
cookies
center around
specifically.
cookies.
Oh,
I think
his
initially
plan
the bad guy's
could-
plan is going to be we're going to exploit these. We're going to exploit the situation.
So he could be the one
to our
actually
advantage
bringing
it.
these in. He could be the one making
Yeah.
them come in and attack.
Yeah. And then when the
Or
cookies
encouraging
come
them
in,
to.
when your hero comes in with the solution of give the monsters cookies
It's
and
like-
calm them
or-
down and let's find a way to work things out
That's
without killing
pretty
all the
fun.
monsters, your
Let's say-
villain is going to try to then probably get some of these cookies and say, oh, we could poison them and make the creatures go even more insane, or we could do whatever to discredit this hero.
Honestly, that kind of sounds like kind of thing where these creatures are creatures that are fairly passive in their natural environments, But then this guy captured a bunch of them, bred them into an army, and then starved them for several weeks before throwing them into the middle of cities.
That
You
would
could
work.
do that.
So yeah, if you have a big bad actually planning these attacks from
Yeah.
these,
And then this guy is not.
In that case,
they're probably more
genetically
modified
going,
creatures.
Hey, if I don't, instead of fighting these things, I have these incredibly calorie-rich protein bars, and they seem to really calm down when they eat one of these things.
I think
Yeah.
one of the things is though that
No.
I'd like to focus on in this story is the main character's pacifism, because it might actually be easier to kill these things than to pacify them with cookies. But I think having the main character be the type of person who doesn't want to kill anyone or anything, and
Yeah.
is
He
specifically
doesn't want to kill these creatures.
Right.
he's specifically doing this
Because
so that
I'm
he
sure
doesn't
there
have
were
to kill
others who
them.
have been killing these monsters who
yeah.
don't think
I
twice
think
about it.
also that he wouldn't want to come up and all of a sudden kill the big bad guy at the end.
Mhm.
Personally, if he's that hateable and evil, and I would want to write him, I like to write hateable villains that you want to see die at
Mhm.
the end. So
Or
if you
turn
want,
into a bunny.
don't give spoilers.
Sorry.
Okay. So anyway, if or you know, sometimes you gotta read the fine print. But anyway, if I'm not giving spoilers.
So,
but
but-
anyway, so if the other thing is, if you get this guy, you totally made me lose my train of thought. And
Pacifism and the big
yeah,
bad.
so instead of him killing him, the guy
Mhm.
at the end, the
The
big
bad
bad,
guy at the end.
he could actually, try to stand up to him and say, no, there are other ways or whatever, and the guy could fight. But this guy's been giving these monsters cookies.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably at this point,
They
if
like
they can
him?
be, more loyal to him than him. So I think the monsters that he's been summoning are the ones that kill him at the end.
I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm.
So
Poetic justice.
right,
Yes.
very
Yes.
poetic justice.
I like
Every
that.
story is better with a bit of poetic justice just sprinkled in there.
And then the main character's reaction to these creatures killing their master. No.
Well, I think I'm a little late now.
Alright, so why is our hero a pacifist? Why is he the first one? Because I'm sure humanity
Easy,
is
make
having
him a vegan.
No,
No,
no. Here's the thing. I think the reason he's a pacifist.
don't make him a vegan. The book would never sell in Texas.
Here's what we do.
Yeah.
At one point, he had anger issues as a child,
Okay.
and so, and when he was young, he basically went berserk and injured a friend of his, and so he doesn't like hurting people
He
because
was
of
a
that.
bully, he was a bad
Right.
guy, and so now he regrets it, and so now he always looks for a
And now
peaceful
he's all
Yeah,
solution.
he's
So
always
these
going to find the most
monsters come in
peaceful
and
solution.
start-
Or if you want to go the other route, you could say he was very misunderstood and somebody bullied him. And he's like, I never want to be like that. You don't
Mhm.
always understand. It's very easy to have, where it's very easy to look at a situation and say, this is clear, this guy's, and it's
These are
not.
clear monsters that
And so
eat
he's
people.
going,
Yeah.
Not
things aren't
just
always, I
starved
wanna
dogs.
have
He
more.
would, or once again, you could have him be the bully that went in and thought a situation was clear,
And then it wasn't what it
And
was.
then
Yeah,
it
he
wasn't,
went in
and he
and
ended up
defended this
seriously
poor,
injuring someone who was completely innocent.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't
he
have to
went
be,
in and defended this poor person
But
who was a
basically,
victim
yeah,
and then
put some
turned
kind of
out.
trauma in his
It doesn't
backstory. That'll
have to
fix
be-
it.
It doesn't have to be they seriously injured him. This person can't walk or whatever.
Oh no, I mean
It
like
has to
seriously
be-
injured him. He had to
Like,
spend
beat
3
him
weeks
up?
in the
Yeah,
hospital.
Yeah, beat him
broken
up.
arm or whatever.
Yeah. Point
Um,
being, he regrets it, and so
okay.
now he looks
So we've got a hero, we've got a villain, we've got
monsters
cookie
and
guns.
cookies.
Oh wait,
Unless
yeah,
I'm
we also have to. So
Okay,
this is the important thing. We figured out cookies, but we need the gun aspect. So we need if he. So which does he make the cookies or does he make the gun part? That's the real question.
I think he makes the cookie.
I think he
All
makes a cookie. I
so
think
he
he's
makes
a baker.
cookies. He's a baker. He makes cookies and discovers that he can actually feed these monsters. And then he basically makes a specialized formula that is specifically for these monsters that he makes into a cookie. But then he decides he needs a way to basically get the cookies to the
Right,
monsters faster.
If he goes over and tries to go like this, he might get his hand bitten off.
Yeah.
So this could be an
And then he
interesting
could make
thing.
more
Then
cookies.
he goes over and he searches for someone to help him with this problem, and that's where we introduce the girl.
Right. So I think
Ah.
Because she's a mechanic
Listen.
who works on guns.
it wouldn't be that hard though, because
No, an
if
engineer.
he's a baker, right? So the girl can come in his bakery shop
Yeah.
And they get talking about this, and her going, I actually,
I actually helped design
right?
these
I'm
guns.
actually, kind of a gunsmith.
Yeah.
No, an engineer. Make
An
her an
engineer?
engineer.
Or
Guns
one of
would
these
because here's
hunters
the
who
thing.
fights the monster.
Because here's the
she's
thing, just making
it's
her
like, I can hook
gunsmith.
you up.
Gunsmith would actually be the worst person to make a cookie gun because a
True.
cookie gun would have to operate entirely different from a gun.
Okay.
Good point.
So make them a backyard engineer.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Make
So
her an
like, yeah,
engineer.
I make things for fun. I could probably
Yeah,
get you
'cause
a
I
way to
wouldn't- I
launch
wouldn't
it.
want
Yeah, I
her
made
to
a
be the
cart
big
that is
gun
able to move at-
because he's a
Mhm.
pacifist.
It's able to go a quarter mile in 20 seconds.
Yeah, but it's like
she's slightly insane.
now.
Yeah.
So and then it
I
could,
would actually be into
and
that.
so part of the story, their relationship could evolve
My turn.
while they're working on improving this system. So at the beginning, she tries like a cookie basically a
slingshot.
a modified slingshot to sling the cookies at the monsters, and it works, but it's not good enough, and so
It's too much practice.
too much practice. And so as she goes on and as she improves her design, she works with him.
So he
As
makes
he
the
makes
cookies,
cookies,
she makes the guns.
she makes the guns, and as they work together on this, they start finding ways to pacify these creatures, and then they start actually finding a permanent
Mhm.
solution to not have these monsters be constantly attacking.
Nice.
Okay, I
That
like
sounds
this.
like so much
All
fun.
right.
We're
You
just
got it?
Imagining an opening
I think
scene.
this will be fun.
Imagining a thing that gets him to start realizing this, where the monsters end up invading his town and start destroying everything, and he's not going to fight these things, so he ends up just basically hiding under the table, feeling like, well, this is probably the end. It's probably going to kill me. And then it completely ignores him and starts eating all his cookies, and then he's going, what the?
Well, it doesn't have to
Doesn't
start
fit it.
eating his
He
cookies.
doesn't start eating his cookies.
You just
He
come in and
eventually
start
makes
eating
cookies
whatever-
that are
right.
the main things he feeds them.
Because
Yeah,
if
but
you go
basically
into the
just
bakery
starts
and eat
eating all
some
his
of
baked
food.
Because
goods.
cookies
kind of
are a
thing.
lot less expensive than some of the other things you could feed. It could be a
Well,
it could
also,
be a
it might have some
doesn't have
special
to be
ingredients.
A bakery. It could have a it could be a
Mhm.
it could be a restaurant or
Yeah.
something.
I mean,
Point being,
but-
it likes.
The point is, he calls the things he feeds them cookies. It's probably closer to like a specialized bar type thing,
Probably.
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a glorified candy
Hey,
bar.
there are a lot of types of
those
cookies.
cookies. There are
Uh-huh.
cookies like that.
There are a lot of types of cookies.
Monsters
I know I
cookies.
like cookies.
So yeah, and then he's like, hey, actually, these things, they're hungry. They're not actually aggressive. They're hungry.
And then
Yeah.
it's just eating all the stuff in his bakery, and then he steps out and goes, what the?
This
All right. This could be
story.
fun.
I think it would be fun.
It could be.
Gun.
This could be.
I think I could.
Come on.
I can write this.
I should write this.
And it would be interesting because if we wrote it all, this could do something that would go from kind of dark with some humor in it to total spoof, depending. I would write it. I don't
More
do
on the
total
serious
spoof.
Somewhere in the
I would
middle.
write it someplace more in the middle of it.
somewhere on the serious
Um,
side, but with a little bit of.
And by the
I
end,
would write it more
and
in
by
the-
the end, they have to upgrade the cookie gun to be able to rapid fire. Yes.
Oh, there we go. That sounds
Cookie
good.
machine gun.
Okay, if you have an idea for how to make a rapid fire cookie gun, feel free to leave it in the comments. Along with any other ideas you have or just comments you want to make, we'd love to hear from you.
More ideas to put in the hats, more
Yeah,
ideas for
ideas
this story, more ways for
write
me
the
to torture my
story yourself.
sister.
Yep, all right.
Have fun.
Did you say it was
Nothing.